Hi everyone, I'm back. Today's episode is going to be a little different than normal. Today's episode is going to be all about Dark Souls 3 in celebration of the new Tokyo Game Show demo that just came out yesterday. In this episode, I'm going to go over everything that I've learned about Dark Souls 3 up to this point, and how I feel about the series and where I feel the series is going to be headed. So I'm just going to dive right in and start with the story. Story-wise, Mr. Miyazaki has stated that Dark Souls 3 takes place in the same universe as Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, meaning Lordran and Drangleic respectively. Now, I don't know if that means that another kingdom has risen and fallen and we the player character are coming in at the end of that kingdom's life cycle, or if it will take place in the birth of that kingdom, or if this is going to be set before the first two games. It's also been stated that this is the quote-unquote end in the Souls series and the quote-unquote last installment, and that it's going to be a major turning point in the story, and a lot of unanswered questions from the first two games will be answered, and there will also be new aspects introduced. I don't know if that means that there's going to be another Souls game after this, or this is going to be the last Souls game, and they're going to incorporate new elements to the universe of Souls and focus on those elements in the next installment, or that they're going to make a completely new game that stands alone like Bloodborne, but bases its lore off the first three Souls games. It's also been hinted that we will get to see exactly how bonfires are created, though not much has been revealed about that so far, and I've got to say I'm extremely excited for this because I've always wondered how exactly bonfires have been created, and I don't know how that's going to affect the story, if you'll be able to create your own bonfire and use it the way you would a normal bonfire, or if it's something completely different. From my speculations, it seems as though Dark Souls 3's story will still be presented in the same fashion of Dark Souls 1 and 2, through item descriptions and NPC interactions, but there's also going to be a new aspect incorporated into the game that for right now I like to call YOLO lore. Basically, there seems to be what are like headstones that one can offer up a flame to, and in return will be rewarded with a little tidbit of lore, which I'm assuming individually they won't make much sense, but when combined will reveal a major aspect or plotline in the story as well. Now, moving on to gameplay and starting with combat, the first new thing I've noticed that's a major change from the 16-minute demo that was released a couple months ago is the inclusion of a mana bar, which is reminiscent of Demon Souls, and a new type of Estus flask called an Ash Estus flask, which will replenish that mana. Another new thing I've noticed is the introduction of what are being called battle arts. Battle arts seem to be weapon-specific moves that, when activated, will make the player character go into what is called a battle or ready stance, depending on the weapon. In this stance, players will have new moves that can cause an increase in damage at the cost of mana. It also seems that battle arts will vary from weapon to weapon, and some will cause a battle stance with a different moveset, different combos, and more powerful attacks, while others will just buff the weapon, causing an increase of magic or elemental damage. Now, I don't know if that buff is going to last for just one move or through the moveset, or if it's timed. I couldn't find anything on how long that buff would last for that battle art, so I guess we're just going to have to kind of see how that plays out. Another thing with battle arts is that it seems that only certain weapons will be able to be used in one hand with the battle art activated, and certain weapons will have to be switched to two-hand mode to activate that battle art. Another thing I've noticed is that it seems that only certain shields are going to be able to parry weapons in this game, while other shields won't. I don't know if it's going to be like a wooden metal shield thing or what. I couldn't find any information about that. Enemy AI in this game is said to be more similar to the fluidity of Bloodborne, but with a Dark Souls 1 combat system, which I have to say I'm extremely excited for because I love the fluidity of Bloodborne's combat. I completely loved it. Also, bosses now will have different phases in fights, which isn't completely new, but it seems that every boss will now have these phases, and once it reaches a certain HP percentage, I believe, it will move into what's called a mad phase, with some bosses having new movesets and more powerful attacks. Moving on to things that will be returning, I've noticed that basic consumables will be returning, like firebombs and throwing knives, and character respec has also been confirmed, but it's unknown at this point whether the Lord Vessel will be making a return as well, so I don't know what you would use to respec your character. Hidden walls have also been confirmed, and it's been confirmed that they will need to be attacked to be revealed, which means no more mashing the interaction button, which I think is an amazing thing. Fast travel has also been confirmed as well, which is awesome. I always love the fast travel. I've always loved being able to instantly teleport from the bonfire to wherever you need to go, which, I don't know, I just personally think that that's a good thing. Bonfire aesthetics, though, they won't be making a return, and I wasn't able to find any information on if there will have enemy spawn limits or not. I'm assuming not, since there's no bonfire aesthetics, but you never know. I guess we're just going to have to see how that plays out as well. Invasions and PvP will be making a return as well, and it's been confirmed that it will be matched by soul level, and it will not be locked to consumables, which I think is pretty cool. Like, not needing a black eye orb to invade somebody, I think is awesome. I don't know how that you're going to be invaded or how things are going to be matched. I couldn't find anything on that. The only thing I could find was that it'll not be locked to consumables, and you'll be matched by soul level. Also, magic and pyromancy will be making a return as well, and the spell usage limit is no longer an issue because of the mana bar. It also seems that spells will have specific characteristics to enhance your playstyle, so I don't know, I kind of think that spells may have their own leveling system, which I think would be pretty cool, and yeah, I just think that that would be cool. As for the environment, Mr. Miyazaki has stated that he wanted to give the world a withered beauty feeling, and that's reflected in the video with the decaying trees but the sunny environment. And I just think that visually the game is amazing so far. It also seems that stamina and HP regain will be more akin to Dark Souls 1 than Dark Souls 2, which means your HP regain will be faster when you use an Estus, and it also seems that stamina regain will be faster, which I think is amazing. I also read that torches will now have their own levels and will be used in the same way as Dark Souls 2, which is pretty cool. And if torches have their own levels, I'm assuming that means that there's different levels of brightness to the torches, which I also think is a pretty cool thing. But overall, that's pretty much everything I learned, and I'm really, really, really excited for Dark Souls 3. I'm really excited to see what it wraps up. I'm really, really, really excited to see what it brings to the table. I'm super excited for the combat. I'm just all around really, really, really excited for this game. I think that this is going to be the best Souls game yet, and that's just my personal opinion, and that's just based on the fact that we are now in the newest generation of console cycles, and the consoles are able to do so much more with so much more processing power, and I kind of feel like Dark Souls 3 is going to be the way Dark Souls 1 was truly meant to be. And that's just my opinion. That's not saying that Dark Souls 1 was meant to be a different way or something like that. It's just that the consoles are able to do more. So I think we are going to be able to feel the full impact of what the developers and Mr. Miyazaki really wanted us to get out of the game itself. As for the lore and story, I've always loved it. I love the way it's presented. I love the item descriptions. I loved having to infer different things about different NPCs. I just love the way the game is. I've always loved the environment, the whole medieval environment of the Souls series, and the Victorian environment of the Bloodborne series. I love the interconnected areas of Dark Souls 1, and branching paths will be making a return in Dark Souls 3, and I'm real excited to see if the different branching paths will interconnect in the same way that Dark Souls 1 did. I'm excited to see if there's going to be like a central hub like Firelink Shrine that basically you can get anywhere from in the game without needing to fast travel, and I think that that's awesome, so I'm real excited to see if that happens as well. Overall, I'm just real curious to see how Dark Souls 3 is going to play out. I'm really anticipating it wrapping up storylines. I'm really excited for the game itself, and I can't wait till it actually comes out. And it has been given, I believe, an April release date for North America as of right now, and I'm just super excited. Everything in this video was everything I've learned up to this point about Dark Souls 3. Remember, nothing is set in stone for this game. It is still in development, so all this information is subject to change, and all this information is new information I've learned, not what I would call common knowledge in the Souls universe. overall, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. And remember, the game is still in development, so all this information is subject to change. Nothing is set in stone. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and if you guys want to see me do more of these game news videos or everything we've learned up until this point videos, feel free to let me know. Feel free to comment. And if you like this video and like this channel, feel free to like and subscribe. And once again, thank you for watching, and everybody have a nice day. Peace out.